Hello, loves. Hello, hello. Hills here from the Blue Flame, and it is so nice to be with you once again. Yes, now in the year, Gregorian calendar wise, anyhow, of 2025, and a happy new year to you all. I, if you may have noticed, took the month of December off for personal exploration. I did do some work with the members portal, but I have not seen you in nearly a month, a little over a month here on the YouTube, which is the longest I have gone since I began this weaving and sharing with you all. So it's very lovely to be back. The integral internals that I personally have been navigating are still percolating. And part of what we are going to talk about today in this energy update is how we are all in a current of great shifting. So let me feel here for a moment how we want to begin. This year started off with a bang. We had a Capricorn new moon just as we were coming into the new year itself. We had this really lovely, I was calling it a cellar door energy that's still active right now between Pluto in Aquarius. Mars is retrograde, just about to tip now into Cancer. I think it may be at the time of this recording now at the 29 of Cancer, but it was at 1 to 0 degrees of Leo during the Capricorn new moon. And actually, on the 3rd of January, the cellar door that I'm talking about was at its peak energy. Now, this cellar door was the Aries North Node coming into the final rotations of Aries North Node and the Libra South Node coming into the final rotations of Libra South Node opposite one another, with that Libra South Node exactly, and this is still true at this moment, exactly trine to Pluto and Aquarius, while that Aries North Node was exactly, and still is at the time of this recording, trine to that Leo Mars retrograde. So they're working with one another, and you can start to feel that gifting energy, right? You can start to feel that. And our Capricorn new moon transmission, we worked a lot with this, and that's actually available to our entire community. So if you want to head over to the members portal at Patreon, you can find it there. This opposition between Mars and Pluto creating a line, the opposition between the North and South node creating a line, the two trines with Pluto sextile the North node and Mars sextile the South node created this beautiful rectangle with a cross in the center. So you can feel that energy of a door, a doorway. So this was exact. This was the peak of its energy on the 3rd of January. We are continuing in that vein. And on the 6th, Monday, the 6th, we find another energy moving in for us. And we're going to start to explore kind of what the month of January has to offer now. So Mercury has now emerged on that same day, the 3rd of January. Mercury emerged from shadow of retrograde. We spent a lot of December in retrograde with Mercury or shadow of retrograde. That 3rd day of January is the day that Mercury emerged. Now on the 6th of January, Mercury is coming into conjunction. Mercury's coming into conjunction with the galactic center, and they are squaring Neptune. So here we're starting to get the feel for what January is offering, because the messenger in union with the galactic center is in conversation with Pisces and Neptune. Pisces is a powerful energy for the month of January. Venus has just entered Pisces. On the Cancer full moon, Venus will be conjunct Saturn in square to Jupiter, still retrograde in Gemini. On the 11th, and this is what we're really here to talk about. Those north and south nodes are shifting signs. We are in what I like to call the wobble. Now, there are two ways of designating the north and south nodes. They're the true and the mean. One continues on a straight line trajectory, retrograde. The other bounces back and forth between retrograde and direct. Now, most of the time, these two are right next to each other, or at least within the same sign. And so we don't really have to worry about which one is where. However, when the nodes are shifting signs, things get a little wobbly. And for anyone who might have, myself included, a wobbly node, you'll understand that this can be a little disorientating. Sometimes you'll feel like, wait, this is what I'm supposed to do. Wait, this feels more true in this moment. Where am I actually called? And when we feel into the energies of shifting and transition that the 0 degree of Aries and the 29th degree of Pisces offer us, that ending, beginning, beginning, ending, which is the beginning and which is the ending sort of energy, we can start to really feel this. So on the 11th of January, the true node, and this is the one that moves a bit. Okay? The true node enters Pisces at the 29 degree. Now, the 0 of Aries is known as the world axis, the cardinal point of the world. The 29 of Pisces is known as the karmic completion point. So while we have the mean node still there at the 0 of Aries and the true node beginning to flip back and forth between the 29 and the 0 and the 29 and the 0, but mostly in the 29, that karmic completion point, one of the gifts that we are being given energetically is the experience of I am flowing. I am flowing. We're coming into contact with that moment when all of the work that we have done in correlating our identity and bringing our true self into our relationships, coming into greater and greater contact with that I am, is cycling through and giving us this remembering that, let me feel how this wants to, the way that it's coming through is giving us an opportunity to expose our tender fontanelle, that soft spot on the top of the head of a newborn infant, to bring that Piscean, tender, emotional, flowing, dreamy, transcendental energy into contact, greater and greater contact with that I am, to in some ways test our capacity to stay true to self and to our divine light in the face of pain and sorrow and grief. The Pisces North Node can have a tendency towards isolationism, towards perfectionism. That Virgo South Node that's on the other side, we can get very idealistic about what it means to be spiritual, how to navigate our spiritual sense of self in the world. There can be a tendency to feel that there's a weakness in the expression of emotion, in the acknowledgement of pain, or that something hurt. And when we feel that Aries North Node that we're beginning to emerge out of now, as we begin to feel this wobble, this push-pull, this transference from fire to water. And here we're playing with that alchemical marriage energy of fire and water. These two elements that seem like they cannot coexist, and finding that way in which they do within us. Finding the passion to be fully ourselves, warts and all, in the world. And to allow everyone that we come into contact that same divinity, that same mercy, that same gift. To say, this is how you need to express your feelings in this moment. I see you. Now, this does not mean being some sort of doormat. This does not mean taking abuse. What it means is recognizing that someone is having an experience, that it is creating an experience within us because it's touching something, a tender place within our heart, within our mind, within our nervous system. And rather than reacting at the person or the situation, saying, okay, where is this hitting me? And then not avoiding the confrontation if there needs to be one. We can sometimes feel like if we stand up for ourselves, we're lowering our frequency to some place that it doesn't belong, that doesn't serve. And this is where discernment comes in, and the Pisces North Node has a lot to do with discernment. A lot to do with discernment. Trusting ourselves. You can feel that with that Virgo South Node energy. That Virgo South Node energy. That wholeness, that perfectionism, that perfecting nature. You feel. I sense that that let me feel was actually a teaching moment, if you would. A sort of reminder that that's one of the ways that we can find truth is through pause. It's part of the reason that I knew that taking December off was so important, even though I fought tooth and nail towards the end of November about doing it. And even during it, it was hard. I have a lot of cardinal energy. I like to do things. I like to prove myself, if you will. One of the gifts of this wobble. So the mean node will enter Pisces on the 31st of January. The true on the 11th, the mean on the 31st. When the mean enters Pisces on the 31st, the mean south node going into Virgo at that time as well, the nodes will have fully transitioned into Pisces-Virgo. It will have fully transitioned at this point. This couple of weeks that we have as we move through the Cancer full moon and even into the Aquarius new moon, as we move through these energies, we are playing with that tying off, closing loops, experiencing what we need to experience about the way we stand up for ourselves in our relationships, the way that we honor our truth in relationships, the way that we view and speak to and about ourselves in the world. This is what we're navigating, so that as we fully tip over into Pisces and Virgo, we can do that from a place of self-assurance that it is safe, to expose our tender hearts, our tender fontanelles, our love, our pain, our truth in any moment. This is likely to be a very emotional cycle, this Pisces Virgo, even for those of us who can move through emotionality in a very fast way. Some of us have a state of being, a template that allows us to process emotions very quickly. During this Pisces Virgo nodal cycle, this next 18 months or so, that is likely to not be quite the case anymore. There's a very high likelihood that many of us are going to feel things much more intensely, much more intensely. That we're going to be given the opportunity to feel things that we maybe have hidden from ourselves and that we did not believe because of some story, some trauma, some narrative, that it was appropriate for us to feel. And this is on a collective level as well. This is on a collective level as well. As we move through this Pisces Virgo North and South node, let me feel how this wants to be said. Many of us will start to notice some fraying on the edges, along the edges, and maybe even quite a bit deeper than the edges, actually, of the way that it wants to come through is strong man energy, the strong man energy. And I'm feeling called to talk about that a little bit more. So let's go in, shall we? Strong man energy. I'm not talking about some like true strength, masculine strength. And what I'm talking about is the strong man, that frightened dictator who inflicts power uses it, wields it as a weapon so that they don't have to feel what is actually occurring within them. That frightened child that's screaming, love me, love me, love me, that then uses that pain and weaponizes it and forces people into a loving relationship that isn't actually love. So you don't have to be male to be strongman energy, to have that within you, right? We all have some of that within us because of the society that we have grown up into, that we have birthed into. A lot of us will have karmic abuse of power energy. And this is what I'm talking about. This is what is being revealed in this moment about the Pisces-Virgo nodal axis that we're moving into, that those parts of us and those parts of our collective that are founded on that energy of power over, of strong man, exploiting weakness, which is emotionality, will begin to fray like a rope that has been being sawed at for some days. And it's because that is exactly what we have been doing. We are in this year of great shifting, of great transformation. Now, every moment of every day is a moment of great shifting and great transformation. However, there are some that are bigger than others, right? The moment of opening your eyes from birth is a bit of a bigger shift and transition than the moment of opening your eyes after a night's sleep or a nap. That is not to say that they are not equally powerful in certain ways. This year, we have so many big planets shifting. All of the outer planets will be in different signs than they were in 2023 and most of 2024 this year. This is let me feel. In some ways, a completion of a great work. But like this Aries Pisces wobble that we're currently in, it's the beginning of the end. That's the end of the beginning, right? We're moving into more fully into the age of Aquarius. And isn't it interesting that as we do, the nodes first, the North Node first has to go into Pisces, the age that we're emerging from. By the time we hit 2026 and 2027, the nodes themselves will be in Aquarius and Leo. So we can start to feel that we are moving more fully into that energy, releasing, transcending duality and coming into not singularity, but the I am of allness. The 2nd of February. This is a day to mark your calendar for. This is a big day. It's amazing. I mentioned that Venus has come into Pisces, that on the Cancer full moon on the 13th, the planet of desire and love will be conjunct Saturn. We've talked about how Neptune is at the end of Pisces. And just about right now, coming into that beautiful square with the galactic center and Mercury. That on the 11th, the true node shifts into the end degrees of Pisces. On the 31st, the mean node shifts into the 29th degree of Pisces, and there they both sit now, true and mean, at 29 degrees. Neptune's continuing to spin forward now from the 27th degree where he sits right now, or they sit right now. And they will continue to turn until the 2nd of February, when they meet with the North nodes at 29 of Pisces. But these players are not alone, for Venus will reach the 29th degree of Pisces at that moment as well, as will the moon. So we will have on the 2nd of February, the moon, Venus, the mean and true nodes, and Neptune all at the karmic completion point, 29 degrees of Pisces. This is during the waxing, the re-emerging moon. We will have the Aquarius new moon on the 29th of January. So the moon will be coming back into form at this point. We'll be able to see the moon at this point. There's another fun little astronomical, more than astrological event happening at the end of January, but I'll talk more about that in a different video. The 2nd of February is a day for setting the stage. A day for setting the stage. What are you called to really bring into this new year? We will have moved through the Chinese New Year at that point on the Aquarius new moon, and we will have officially entered the year of the snake, transformation, the shedding of skins, rebirth. We're already in the 9-year completion cycle, beginnings and endings, endings and beginnings. So on that 2nd day of February, we will have moved into 2025. We will have moved into the year of the snake. We will not quite yet have moved into the Persian New Year and the start of the astrological calendar. That happens in March. But we are really starting to chug along into the new, right? On the 4th of February, Jupiter finally stations direct again at 11 degrees of Gemini, beginning forward motion once again. Feel. We do not usually have a full moon circle. Usually in the members portal, the full moon is a remote healing. I am being guided that for this Cancer full moon, we will have a live circle. I will share more details about that in the members portal itself, and I invite you to come on over to the Patreon. I mentioned in the new moon transmission that things are about to start shifting in there, and I'm going to share more about that, I believe, during the Cancer full moon. So if it calls, please do come and join in whatever way you're called to join. My sense as we're getting ready to close this update is that the messages that came through today are an invitation for us all to really allow openness and curiosity to rule the day as we explore this wobbling to the new destiny line. As we explore these beginnings and endings, these endings that are beginnings and beginnings that are endings, and all the ways in which they are part of the same energy. Yes, I just was asked to provide a visuality of this energy to us all. One of the ways that we can play with this energy in meditation is through the bright light that so many say they experience when they have a near-death experience. That bright light calling them home. And that moment of emergence from the tunnel, from the birth canal, when you come out into the bright world after having spent 9 months or however long your soul spent in the womb, in union with your human body, in darkness, in a place where you have no language and no sounds. It's all just music, white noise, the heartbeat of your mother, the rhythm of breathing, and then emerge into a white light. We leave into a white light. We emerge into a white light. From darkness into light. Can we feel how that tunnel that carries us, carries our soul to the next place, is also a birth canal? Each time we make a transition, we are beginning something and ending something simultaneously. And that is the energy, that is the nucleus of what we are wobbling through in this moment. Perhaps it's journaling that calls to you rather than deep meditations. Maybe that is the way you meditate. Perhaps it's sitting with a tree and feeling how that tree sheds its leaves, keeps its roots deep to feel the non-frozen earth if you're in a place where the earth freezes this time of year, or to feel all of the flow of the water, the mycelium, how the mycelium themselves feed from the decay that helps promote more growth and birth. The invitation here is to really allow yourself to feel how you navigate transition. So as you're journaling or meditating on this remembrance that every transition is both a death and a birth, feel what is happening in your digestive system, in your muscular system, in your nervous system, in your heart, in your mind, and let that help you identify where you are called to work during this wobbly time. I can share that for myself, it is dance, it is meditation, it is movies and TV shows, it is live music and conversations with soul friends, it is deep introspective work in the bath or shower that call to me most often. And sometimes it is finding that stillness within myself through all the noise of this world that helps me to get to those places and find those places where I am afraid of change, or I am excited for change, or so on and so forth, all of the things. And where my heart longs for something new and also for all that has been experienced. What calls to you? What is your truth in this? All right. On that note, I hope to see you over at the Patreon and the members portal. I have some really special gifts that are coming in for the December-January gifting. I'm really excited to share those, and I'll be doing that in the next day or two. Until then, and as always, in the always, so much and many loves from, through, and beyond the all dimensions. Thank you.